19th, Thursday, S&P is down 34 points. NASDAQ is down 177. Russell down 3 and the Dow down 330. Gold is flat. Silver is up 0.33%. Notes and bonds and yields all pretty flat. Oil up 2.5%. Natural gas down almost 1%. Soybeans and wheat finished green. Corn a little bit red. Euro and the pound are both down about 0.33%. Bitcoin up 1%. And the VIX is up 5.5%. 20.71. Keeps tipping its hand up at 21 and then getting pushed back down into the 20s. As far as my trading today, my BIC's doing well. Haven't had any double stops yet. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tranches still open, up about 4,600. And actually, after making some money on some longs, I'm actually closer to about 5,500. So we'll see where those shake out. I keep thinking the bottom's going to fall out of this market, but it keeps holding up. Other trades, day trading, small red day. Had a loser in Amazon and Tesla, and then a nice winner in AMD. My one DTE, I transformed into a bearish vertical. It looks like this here. Minimum profit 380, max 1380. It's got to make a big move lower to hit that. It's got to get below 6740 tomorrow. We have an expected move for the between now and tomorrow's close of 63 points, because we do have some big reports tomorrow morning, including GDP and core PCE and PMI and new home sales. So could see some movement pre-market. Let's see, what else did I do? No calendars. I did one Elmo. I ended up cutting out early. I got in during this chop this morning, and then when it started to push down, I thought we were about to drop out, so I went ahead and cut it for a small loss. Ended up bouncing, probably would have hit, I assume it would have hit profit target. We ended up going lower, but it did hold whenever I closed it. So just took one small loss on that one. That was the only one I did. And I think that is it for me today. Did you guys do any good directional trading? Watson, Lando, anybody? It's just, I mean, the S&P was really choppy. There was definitely some opportunities this morning. I got caught with my two losers in Tesla and Amazon. I just kind of, I just, with the price action in the S&P and QQQ, I really kind of had a bias that we were going to push lower. And so I usually only have one position on at a time. I ended up having two, and then the market bounced. So I ended up getting squeezed out of those and then making some money on AMD. But there was definitely some opportunities. Tesla had a nice run there for a while. Some of the chip stocks had a little run. But pretty choppy overall. Tony Montana overtraded a little bit. Well, not so good. Yeah, still choppy. Yeah, hopefully with all the red folder news pre-market, wouldn't doubt if we see some decent direction, one directional move tomorrow. Nothing wrong with under trading, Moel. Nothing wrong with that. IWM just pushed back in the green. Bitcoin's been kind of all over the place as well. It made a little push through previous day low, and it's been kind of chopping to higher all day. I will be doing an OPEX calendar at the end of the day. In fact, I was just pricing that out before I jumped on here. So I posted in the calendar chat channel, and I'll reiterate here, last month I had to do kind of a workaround because of the rules that Schwab have with this trade. And so I am going to do one of those trades just to use as an example for you all. So I'll do a one lot in Schwab, and then I'm going to do a few others in IBK in my IB account, because you don't have to mess with the workaround in that one. So as far as the one we'll go here. All right, so the 69.40 is trading for about 60 or 70 cents. I'm not going to do this until after MOC, but that's kind of where it's priced right now. So if you do this one, the 69.40, that long remaining put that you have tomorrow, you're buying that for about 9,300. So that would be your buying power per lot, about 9,300. And then I posted in the calendar chat. Make sure, if you haven't already, make sure you watch that updated video I posted last month before I buy the Deep in the Money put calendar. I will also buy a throwaway far out of the money put on the AM cycle. Oops. So last month I did one for like 20 cents. If I did something similar here, I could do like the 6,300 or $6,400. That one's got a lot of volume. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I'll do that a little bit later. Does anybody have any questions on that at all while we're waiting? I prefer to, yeah. But on the on the put calendar here, it doesn't really look like it made much of a difference as far as the volume goes. I mean, once you get past the 6,900, it just kind of falls off. And I want to get it a little bit cheaper. So you could certainly do the 6,900 strike. You've just got, there's some premium value in there that you're going to lose overnight. So I prefer to go a little bit deeper in the money. I'm not with doing a small, if I was doing 100 contracts or something like that, I would be a little bit more concerned. I would probably stick with like the 6,900 if I was doing a big size on this, but I'm only doing a handful of contracts, so maybe the 6,950. Yeah, instead of the 6,940, I'd go to the 6,950. Yeah, good point. It's going to be a little bit better volume. Let's see the open interest here. Yeah, 6,950 is way better than the 6,940. Yeah, good point. Yep. Good point. See, that's why I keep you around, JR. Keep me in line. When you do a trade like this once a month, you kind of got to get back in the swing of it. It's a good looking transformer, Watson. What do you call that one? Over the hills and through the snow to grandmother's house we go. Looks like, did you ever play that dirt bike game on, was it Atari or Nintendo? Excite Bike? Looks like the Excite Bike ramp course. Biggest stock movers today include FIG is up 9.3%. SMCI is up 7%. TEM is up 5%. Nebius up 5%. SanDisk up 3%. Klarna down 26. Carvana is down 8. It was down 20 after the market closed. So yeah, I did a bullish fly on that one. So that's not going to work. Rivian's down 5. Rivian back to being Rivian. Had that great earnings, and it's just been all downhill since. Reddit's down 2. MU down 2. Netflix a little bit red. I've had a good week. Monday was closed. Tuesday, Wednesday were good. Today was tiny red. S&P just chopping just above previous day low. Same with NASDAQ. IWM trying to go green. It's up at highs of day. Bitcoin not far off of its high of day. Yeah, TradeZella. Yeah, I like it. It's definitely helpful for me. Trips, new member in the house. How you doing, my friend? The Iron Ducks. So in April of last year, when all the crazy tariff stuff was going on, I just kind of stopped doing overnight trades. I was doing overnight calendars. I was doing some premium selling, some ducks, some different things like that. And I kind of just was like, I'm going to hold off on any overnight stuff because the moves were just so crazy and the headline risk was just too much. And I just ended up getting really used to coming into the day with a clean slate and no risk overnight that I just kind of liked it. and I never went back. So to answer your question, no, I have not been doing Iron Ducks. They're still a fantastic strategy, but I've just kind of really, and then the other thing, I was trading so many different strategies that I can't trade every single thing that we teach. You know, I used to trade NTT, the directional stuff all the time. I used to trade Iron Ducks. I used to do long duration short strangles. I used to do everything, and it just became too much. And so I've really just started to focus more and more my trading, and so I've really just kind of focused that to intraday stuff with very little, if any, overnight exposure. Yeah, Watson, I use the only thing I do in that one account is my day trading. Yeah, which makes it nice. You know, I've got one account that I only do BICs in. I got one account that I do my day trades in. I've got one account that I do a bunch of different stuff in, Elmos, the earnings trades, random stuff that I'm testing. So, yeah, I mean, it's personally, I like having them separate like that, but obviously not critical. What's Trips? What's your experience? What do you primarily trade, or what's your focus? James G. One thing I've found about TradeZella is that like spreads that you hold overnight. Like, for example, I did that Bitcoin, that IBIT spread yesterday, and it didn't pick up the closing order today. It's like, I mean, it is really designed for day trading, but I've had that issue. Like, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. It works perfectly for day trading, but for whatever reason, some of those swing trades, sometimes it won't pick up the closing order for some reason. Trips, you've been trading zero DTE, okay-ish success, but was drawn to the ducks from the yeah. I mean, it's a great strategy. When I used to do them, I used to primarily focus kind of right around 21 days to expiration. You can do shorter duration if you want. I just kind of, if you go too far out, the strikes start to get too wide for the ones that you're trying to get. And if you go shorter, you just got to watch them a lot closer. So 21 days was kind of my sweet spot when I was doing them a lot. But if you do trade them, I mean, always just feel free to, post a screenshot of what you're looking at if you have questions or if you're not quite sure, and I'm happy to chime in on it. Yeah, but what about overnight ones, Lando? Yeah, with the spread, you go in and merge the two legs, so that's not an issue. But it's the like if you open a position one day and you close it the next day, it has a little issue there. Trader boy, I don't know. Just depends on what the market does, I guess, my friend. You know, if you have to be comfortable with the risk that you're holding. Yeah, I mean that is, that is something that has happened for sure, but I don't know that it's something. I mean that's just part of trading trips. As far as the sometimes you're going to have fast markets that you're just going to get bad fills with, and that's just part of it. But that's part of why I like the little bit longer duration too, because you got a little bit more of a buffer. Microsoft heading down to lows of day. Elliot, did you kill it on some Bix today? Well, the day's not over. I don't want to jinx it, but so far so good. Today's flavor of choice, thanks for asking, is peach mango with green tea. Fizz free, of course. Articulate, do you use OCO orders? For what? I mean, I have used them plenty in the past, but I was using them when I was doing the transformer for the Mahomes. I used to use them for, like 0 DTE iron condors, but I just use bots now. But yeah, you could certainly use them for flies. Yep. What does the peach tell you, Moel? What does the peach mango tell you? Up or down? I'm really down to 2 flavors. Peach mango, green tea, or the raspberry acai. Those are my 2 go-tos. JR, regular OPEX trade with new method. I understand now. We can probably close the long put it open, but if we were holding it and not hedging it, then we will be taking a bigger loss. So, no, because you weren't neutralizing your risk until you enacted the hedge. So the only difference now is you don't have to worry about the hedge. You can just take off the long put at any time. Does that make sense? So your risk starts when the bell rings, and that's always been the case. And to neutralize your risk, you would wait until if we started. For me, what I would do is I'd be kind of watching price action, and I would usually give it the first 5 to 15 minutes, and then I'd put on my hedge. But I've got risk until I put that hedge on. Now it's the same thing, except you don't have to use the hedge. I'm just going to be waiting and watching price action, and then I'm going to close the long put. Does that make sense? Got about 6 minutes till MOC, SPX. Let's see what the 50 fly is trading for. About $1. Maybe less. Yeah, but that's always been the risk. That is your risk of the trade. If the market opens and it rips higher, yeah, that's going to be your risk. And then if, by the time you either hedge or close that long put, if you do that at a price that's higher than the SET comes out, then the difference between those, it's about $100 per point in the SPX per contract. So yeah, that is the risk of the strategy. And that remains whether you're using the hedging portion or the workaround that we do now. Nothing's changed from that standpoint. But whatever happens tomorrow morning, like during core PCE, GDP announcement, none of that matters. Up or down, doesn't matter. All that matters is basically the trade starts, or your risk starts as soon as the bell rings. And we want to be able to close out that long put at a lower price than where the SET prints. It's very specific, Watson. So with the butterfly premiums as cheap as they are here, I'm not going to do a pre-MOC scalp, but I will still try to get filled at $2. Once we get there, I posted in the Transformer channel. Here is my two different time machine transformers combined. So as long as we stay above 68.05 and below 69.40, should hit a max profit of 31.50. The other thing I don't want to happen is us to pin at 68.80. That would be a real kick in the shorts. SPX getting a little bounce into MOC. Got about 90 seconds.
1 minute to go now to begin the market on close imbalance data.
1 minute. 55 butterflies still trading around $1. Looks like we may be getting a big buy number here. Kind of looks a little bit like a big buy number.
Ten seconds. Market on close imbalance. S&P 500 sell side 520 million. Nasdaq 100 sell side 520 million. Dow 30 sell side 163 million. Mag 7 sell side 175 million.
Little 500 million sell side.
Voice news disconnected.
So that was not Pelosi front running the MOC like I thought. All right, so what I'm going to do for what's the story on Blumenthal? Did I miss something? Is he the new Pelosi? Oh, 80 million. That's good. Good for him. I need to become a congressman so bad. Would you guys vote for me? I might feed you a little extra something here and there if you elected me. We'd have a I mean, it would be a pretty like incognito lockdown Discord. This is honest trading. It's for the birds. We got to get the dirty inside. All right, butterflies trading up to about $1.40 or so. I'm going to try to trade my homes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to wait until after the bell to enter my OPEX calendar, because it's going to be, you've got 15 minutes after the bell. Because the Mahomes might be a little bit of a late fill here. 55 flies, still trading for $1.50 or less. Hanging around 55. Pushing up to 57. It's still super cheap. I'm not overpaying Moel. Not going to do it. Still about $1.50. All right, there's 58. Okay, now we're talking. I'm going to put my order in on the 60 fly. $2. Looks like it's trading for $1.90, $1.80, $1.90. Needs to push up a little bit, back up closer to 60. I'm going to go in on the 55s also. I'll do the put side 55s. See which one gets hit first. 4 minutes to go. $55s filling. There we go. 55s filled. I'm going to cancel the 60s. Need a move away from 55, Mr. SPX. You're on the 60s? Oh, you got filled when it popped up there? Yeah, it looked like it was about to fill, but it didn't quite. If it would have pushed another point higher. SPX up above 57. So like I said, after the bell, I'm going to get filled on the 69.50 put calendar for my OPEX cow. There's 58. Yeah, I'll do that first. It'll be something for about 20 cents, our hustle. We'll have plenty of time. There's 59. Uh-oh, Moel. .1 minute. There's 60. Let's get 65 then. Let's make everybody a winner. $30 seconds, 61. Hovering at 60. 5 seconds. And
Order cancelled.
there she blows. A little markup.
Order
That'll
cancelled.
help you out, Moel. 68,
Order
61.91. Max winner for Mahomes on
Order
the
cancelled.
55 fly. 60 is going to be a little bit of a loser. Not Max, though. All right. OPEX calendar. Here we go. On the AM cycle, first things first, got to buy a throwaway, cheap, out of the money put. I'm going to go with the 6,600 for 25 cents. Filled at 25 cents. Next up, I'm going to buy the 69.50 calendar. Make sure your fronts are the AM and the back is the 1 DTE. See if we can get filled. It's not going to be for a credit. See if we can get filled for 20 cents. And look on the 1 DTE and that value of that long put of the calendar. That's going to be your buying power requirement. At this point, it's about 8,700-ish. Okay, now I'm getting this wait message again. That's the issue that I had before I had that workaround going. It's not saying working, it's saying wait. All right, well while that's going on, I'm gonna try to get filled on my IB account as well. So what was that? 69.50. Got rejected. Schwab really needs to get it together. It's doing that same thing. All right, while I'm waiting, I'm going to try to get filled on my... rejected again. Schwab may just not be able to do it on Schwab. Let me try IBKR. Not getting filled yet. Not filling at 70 cents. Let's say it's trading for quite a bit more. I don't think it's trading for that much.
Order filled.
All right, I got filled at 85 cents. That's on the 69.50. Try Schwab again. Man, I thought we had the workaround and they were going to, they should, like, I don't get it. They should be fine with it. They're rejecting it again. That's unfortunate. Let me try a different strike. Try the 69.25. Ooh, it's working. You see that in your tab there? It's not the weight retrieving or the whatever it is. It's not the weight. It's working. It's a good sign. Mark says $3.15. That's quite a bit more expensive. Try 250. $69.50. I got filled at 85 cents. Still got about 5 minutes. Let's try 270. $275. James G, get the 6,900 filled. You had your order at $8? $3. Filled at $3. All right. A little more than I would prefer to pay, but is what it is. On the one DTE put, so the buying power requirement will be about 60. Well, what did I get filled at? 6,344 per contract will be your buying power requirement. All right, so I'll be managing this on the live stream tomorrow morning. So for anybody who needs to see that happen, obviously, I wasn't able to get these posted. I'm going to post them right now on the calendar trade channel, but same thing tomorrow morning. I'm going to be day trading. I'm going to be managing these, trying to, watch price action get out. So my post in the calendar trade channel will not be timely. So if you want to be on the live stream, feel free. We'll be doing this before I do any day trading. James G got 305. All right, cool. All right, all. That's a wrap. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you on the live stream in the morning. Cheers.